Start.
Yeah, all right. Recording has started. Welcome back to Peaker's Advantage. This is episode 2, 1 week delayed because, some people think they have the right to vacation. And so we are here for episode 2. And welcome back, everyone. We're back with FNS today as a permanent host now. So
But also second guest.
feel?
We're just going to count him
Also
as a
second
guest
Yeah,
again.
he's a guest again. Yeah.
Just promoted, That's how good I was. But that's fine. Whatever. I want to talk about
Just
this.
impressed
Yeah, guys,
us
we
so
will talk
much.
about that actually. After the podcast, FNS was like, yo, can I just join? And we're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, right
No,
after we
honestly-
stopped recording.
Honestly, the reason for that because this is actually like fun for me. Like usually I don't find like how like people are like, yo, you should stream more, you should do this shit more. I don't
Not a
enjoy that
chance.
stuff. Yeah, I just don't enjoy it. Like I don't enjoy like making tutorial videos for noobs and shit. Like it's not that it wouldn't be useful for people. I think it would, and I think it would like take off and stuff. I just don't have any interest in it. But this shit, like shooting the shit with you guys and like getting a guest in and like talking shit to them. I live for that shit.
Just for future guests, we don't talk shit to you.
Yeah, we do.
Depends on the guest, probably. Yeah,
Yes,
you
we
never
do.
know. Yeah, Mo said he'll come on next week.
Wait, who do we have a guest this week?
No, remember we
DJ
wanted to
Mo.
get. There was a couple different people we wanted to get, but nothing ended up.
Brax
working out.
couldn't.
Well, yeah,
People
Brax
are
didn't want
actually-
to. Brax
it-
agreed to do it and then changed his mind and said he didn't want to.
It's very interesting how many people have lives now. All of a sudden,
It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
isn't it?
when you ask those questions.
Yeah. And then Sean was busy. Tarek said another time, and then Mo said he'll do it when he comes back from vacation. So no guest today, just finesse.
Huh.
Just
Mo took a player break also, apparently.
Wonder where Mo went on vacation with his family. He has to bring his whole family now when he goes on vacation.
All I'm
Where-
saying is
where are
Mo
the
literally
family
uses.
spots. Like, did Mo go out to Disney World or what? Like, where's he going?
Mo looked at his viewer count. It was at 1,500, and he brought his baby in. It spiked to 4,000. That's a little scummy, if you ask me. That's a little.
Why are we
So
talking about
he's
Mo?
not
Mo makes
past
it in
it.
every video somehow.
He's not
That's,
past it. All right, yeah. So first topic, which is what we missed. It was like right after we finished last week's episode, which is Gambit major winners. What's everybody's thoughts on that?
Congrats to them.
yeah.
I have a-
There
I'm
you
kidding.
go.
I mean, I have a 100% win record versus that team, and they won the major. So technically,
Oh,
I
wait.
won the major.
I mean, technically,
And I
yeah.
beat you at XP.
Technically,
so
yeah.
Logically speaking, that win transfers to me a little bit.
Yeah, and then I beat FNS and Rank S last night pretty easily, so then a little bit
Therefore,
of transfers
yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
All right. We're all major winners.
Like, I
Nah,
can just
they're-
retire now. Jeez.
No, honestly
Honest-
though, I think Gambit's an example of a team that they kind of got the right player base. They got Dosi as a lurker. He's not the best lurker in the world, no offense. He's a good player, but yeah, I mean, you'd think Olaf and some of those other guys are better. I think everyone would agree, right? And then you have Zeus, who's like a really solid in-game leader. You got a Dren, who's got like a lot of firepower. Hobbit's like pretty clutch. He comes up big when he's needed. And then Mo is a pretty good opper. Like, he's not the best opper, but like they don't have the best of anything, maybe aside from a Dren. And yet they rely on teamwork and just proper fundamentals of Counter-Strike. And I think that's an example of a team that they're probably not going to win 10 tournaments in a row, but they're always going to be capable of performing in an event, just playing like proper CS. And I just think they're a good example to watch, like for up and coming teams, for current teams. You don't always have to stack a roster with like 5 Nikos or something to win.
Well, what else I thought was interesting about the way they played is that even though, like you said, they rely a lot on team play, they rely a lot on individuals taking map control. Like, there's a lot of confidence given to individuals and their ability to take map control on their T sides. Like, even though they do things together and they do things like, okay, you take map control here and then this person's going to do this, and then like you can tell that it's all sort of well thought out. It's still like largely on individuals being able to do things on their own and make their own decisions.
They do a lot of like Molotov and like nade clears though.
Yeah.
It's like they're alone, but if you watch like Dosia, he'll like molly the top of halls
No,
and
exactly.
stuff. Like he makes there's always a chance you get megged or like you kind of get like unlucky, but for the most part they do everything like about as safe as you can by yourself.
Yeah.
And And Dosia is also like really passive. Like I think people underestimate. Like the guy does not move. His teammate was in B, dying, and the guy's in the holes, just standing there. Like sometimes, like he's really slow, but it throws people off because people don't expect it. You know.
You know what's funny is how basic they play. Like nothing they do. I'm not trying to talk shit when I say this, but Gambit is one of the easiest like to read out of any team I've ever played personally. And even when I was watching those major matches, I don't sometimes know how teams don't overstack versus them. Like, it's so obvious to know where they're going. Like, sometimes on Train, for example, they hit inner almost every round. They just hit inner late every single time with the most basic execute possible, but they just hit their shots. Like, they just use their nades properly. They utilize their nades properly, but they have the most basic executes ever. Like, they don't double fake, triple fake, or anything like that. And their mid-rounding is, like, super good, I guess. But it's just insane to me that a team that's that basic, it's like almost as basic as Astralis, could win with that lineup, you know? Like, I think that's really impressive. But then again, Immortals made it to the grand final too, so.
Immortals did have, like, I really like most of the guys from Immortals. Every time I've talked to them, I think they're all really nice guys. But, like, we can't gloss over the fact that they had a very easy ride to the finals in comparison to other teams, right? Like,
yeah.
I can't bring it up right now. Someone else can. Like, who they played against. All the way going to the minor. I remember thinking, like, they beat Big in the quarterfinals, which, even though Big had played well up to that point,
it was
you
a
have
close
to say
game,
that
too.
that would have been the draw you wanted in the quarterfinals, right? Like, if any team in the quarterfinals would have been okay coming up against Immortals or Big, right? Like, that would have been the teams that they wanted out of the quarterfinal teams. And then I think to go 3 and they went 3-1 in the thing, I think, right?
Swiss.
Yeah, in Swiss, yeah, and they beat NaVi, who, you know, they were kind of dead. But I think NaVi was the best team they beat in that 3-1, if I remember right. If one of you guys could bring up the actual teams they played against, that'd be good. But like, I just remember thinking that, like, you know, good for them to make it to the finals.
Wasn't it Big in the Virtus Pro?
Did they
The
beat
playoffs.
Yeah,
the playoffs.
Playoffs. It was
Yeah,
Big
in the semifinals. Yeah,
Virtus Pro.
Which,
Right.
sure, VP had the crowd on their side, but I mean, dude.
yeah. VP had been
It's-
playing really
yep.
poorly up to that point, so like really bad. so like
No, obviously, it's obvious Immortals had the better draw, but like, I honestly think if SK had just beaten Astralis, they would have just won the whole thing.
I think so too. I think SK got really unlucky with that. Astralis
SK's
draw.
only shit matchup was Astralis. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only matchup that SK struggles with. Every other matchup, SK dominates.
Yeah, their route looked like this. It was like they lost to Astralis, they beat Vega Squadron, Navi, lost to SK, beat Flipside.
Right.
That's them getting into groups,
So 3
which
and 2.
realistically they beat Vega Squadron, Navi, and Flipside. So I think most good teams are capable of that.
Yeah.
And then they beat Big, and even Train was like literally Big could have won Train very easily at 14-14. Tabson lost a fairly easy 1v1 versus a guy that had like 20 health, I believe. And it shouldn't have even really been a loss for Big, honestly. They were in the driver's seat the whole match, but Immortals kind of crunched out the clutches at the end and then took it 16-14. Then, like you said, you know, they beat VP, and you never really discredit a VP win, I guess.
Yeah.
Like VP's always a good team, majors, but
Yeah.
I mean, Big was definitely the better team in that best of 3. Just Immortals. I don't know. Immortals just has so much firepower with KNG. They kind of just threw KNG into that team, and it just worked.
And Lucas played like really well. Like Lucas played really well during that series and that whole event.
No, yeah. That's
Up
why I'm
until
like
the
not.
finals.
Even Gambit, like the way they beat Astralis, they won both pistols on Train. Like the last map, they won both pistols. I think if one of those pistols goes Astralis' way, like I've watched that demo 3 times over, that Astralis Gambit Train game. I can't even believe how lucky Gambit got, like in terms of the rounds that they were winning, like how they were winning the rounds and the way that they were playing really, really well. But Astralis, for the most part, winning most of the gun rounds. It was like that pistol that like Astralis couldn't win and they couldn't eco them, you know? So,
dude, that's what people don't get about CS, man. It's like when it comes to BO3, it gets kind of like watered down in the sense that, you know, winning a couple pistols isn't going to win you a best of 3, right? I mean, if you won all 6 or something, sure, but
Dude,
generally,
you guys used to do that on TSM. when you guys
Yeah.
had your
Oh,
big
we were-
upset wins. You guys, I remember
testers.
tweeting out. I was like, how is no one talking about TSM's 88% pistol
Dude,
win rate?
That was
Like,
at
how is
ECS
no one
because
talking
look,
about this?
look at our team, dude. Fucking everyone's
you're
a
all
pistol god on our
players.
team.
Yeah, you were all pistol
Like,
players.
we had fucking sick pistols.
You did.
Yeah.
And that's
I
what I was
think- I
saying.
think,
But the best
uh,
part was we didn't even have like insane pistol strats. We would just kind of run
No.
out and headshot. Like we'd run out broken wall and cobble as tees and headshot a guy with a Glock statue.
I'm not
or
gonna
like,
lie. There was some weird thing with our team where like I've never been able to do this with any other lineup. Like FNS and Sick, when they had good spawns, like going out upper B, they would just like Glock people, and I'm going, all right, whatever. Like like my USP I think is really good, but like those guys on my team's Glocks were fucking sick. Like I can't Glock like that. Like
No, man. On pistol round nowadays, I buy a P250 flash smoke. Like I'm no matter how much I DM with a Glock, I get into a server and I'm just like, fuck it, I hate this shit.
it always feels RNG.
Yeah,
always
it does.
feels RNG
It does.
select.
I fucking
Where's
hate it.
matchmakers, dude? Matchmakers, they'll put you in the ground when it comes to Glocks, like across the map.
But yeah, no. What I was saying was just Gambit winning those pistols. Just, dude, it's had everything to do with that train game. Like I couldn't even believe. And even then, Astralis like made it like really close. So I don't know.
I always thought Astralis was like. I feel like Astralis, like, do you guys agree? Like, they're more like a really CT heavy team. I feel like
Oh yeah, they are for sure.
If they win T pistol, they might get like 9 rounds if they play well. But generally, I feel like they're the type of team that gets like 6 to 8 rounds fairly consistently on T, and then slaughter people on CT. Like they just get that like defense. Like they're really good at molly, nade behind the molly, smoke the molly, just everything. Like the protocols are really good.
This is why I prefer playing Astralis over SK, because Astralis is very easy to read on Astralis' T side, or Gambit is usually the same thing. Like both these teams, they're not going to do anything crazy or like unorthodox. None of their players are just going to rely on like running the clock down and using their nades, and then like taking map control really, really slowly, which I prefer. Like that's so much easier to play against as opposed to SK, where like they're in random parts of the map, like places you would never expect.
By
like,
themselves sometimes.
Yeah, and that's what's really hard to play against SK is because they're so you never really know with SK what they're doing at all.
Yeah, I'll give you guys an example for for like the newer viewers or whatever that don't really know maybe. But you play SK on a map like Mirage, for example. They'll do mid control, right? Taco's halls, okay? He's just lurking halls. Fur is in connector at the top of connector. Phelps has jumped in window. Okay. They got a dude picking his op around, falling in mid somewhere, is picking cat into B, and then they got a fucking dude upper B just walking in, and they're literally the whole map. They're 1v1ing you, and like it's not even stupid because they'll do shit where like Fur will walk through jungle, and as he walks through jungle by himself, mind you, Phelps is jumping in the window, and Taco's like peeking out the halls. So like someone's getting gayed, like
No, yeah, it's
and it's just like
you can't give SK map control. Like that's the thing. Like the way they take map control is kind of sloppy. If you watch SK's like matches or play them, the way they take map control is like too quick sometimes and like really sloppy. But once they have it, dude, you can't like you have to retake that map control, or they're just gonna pinch you really, really slowly and really well. Like because you're giving Fallen so much space right at that point because his teammates are just taking over all the spots and holding all the angles for him. And at that point, he's just posted up on like toll booth or something like you said. Like it's just really hard to play against SK when they're doing that. Whereas Astralis and Gambit, both those teams are really, really just so basic in the way that they play that it's not a bad thing, but because like that's their play style. And they're really good at it. It's just
like you think that those teams have like a plan. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
yeah,
they're doing mid control to B, like
exactly.
upcat.
Yeah.
SK is
It's
doing
very
mid
standard
control
CS.
to whatever happens.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, it's way less on the fly. It seems when it comes to Astralis and Gambit.
Well, and like SK is really fortunate in the like I think Fallen built his team that way, like specifically where they can play that style, Kory, where you talked
Adaptive.
about like mid control into whatever happens. Like I've been on teams before where I'm playing with players where if they don't know what the end goal is at the beginning of the round, they're fucking mad about it. They're like, dude, we just didn't have a plan. It's like, yeah, I know we didn't have a plan. That was like that was the plan. Like the plan was to not have
Map
a plan.
control is the
right?
plan.
Like yeah, exactly. The plan was take this part of the map and see what happens. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
know where you're gonna end the round before the
You
round
have to have
is
good
started.
comms, right?
You do.
Like you gotta have people that are like, yo, window's clear, I'm in ladder, And then the connector guy's like, yo, the guy stairs push T ramp. You know, like you got to have the info given to you. And like a lot of people in NA, you can watch Rank S streams, and I know Rank S is not like the perfect example, but a lot of people just don't calm shit. Like a lot of people just don't calm shit, and like
or give suggestions on what can work. You know, nothing.
Yeah, they don't say anything, and they're just kind of zoned in, and it's like. At a team, a higher level team, you know, if you're playing with, you know, FNS and I'm calling, for example, he might be like, yo, the cat guy just fucking left B or something. You know, he tells you something, like someone will tell you something, and then you can kind of make a decision. Okay, they might only have one B. Let's like audible there. And I think.
Or like, yeah, right. Like FNS is walking up underpass, and he hears the cat guy at bricks, like near ladder room, and he communicates that to the upper B guy. And the upper B's the guy's like, okay, now I know I have a 1v1 against this guy upper B right now. If I know where he is, I can take this 1v1 now because I know he has no support, right? Or not, you know, like they could be stacking 3B, but you have to play the odds in that sense, right? And take that calculated risk, and you can't take the calculated risk unless the info's given to you.
Yeah, and it's like that's so basic when you think about it. Like it's like, oh yeah, dude, it's such a basic thing, but like how little it happens. I'm not even talking about rank S, just in general. Like people always talk about all these players, like you know how Thorin thinks like fucking Alish, for example, is the best player in NA and shit like that. Like, or like people have opinions on who's the best player in the NA is and stuff like that. Like you don't even know like what the important shit actually is. It's not like, oh yeah, this guy has really good aim or how consistent this person is with like how many kills he gets. Russ hasn't had a negative KD in fucking years. He has literally, he's insane. People never talk about Russ. Yeah, Twist. And like people always talk about Legions too, right? Russ hasn't had a negative KD in fucking so long. He's like more than half the reason they win any of the matches that they win on Liquid. Not Elige, I don't think. It's Russ. Like he clutches so many insane rounds for them, but no one talks about him. And like to me, the way I see it, it's like I feel like people are overrated based on their aim and based on their like one or two games, you know, like how insane they play in one or a couple games versus good teams.
Or like one tournament or something.
Yeah, like Nitro will get 35 kills versus Fnatic, and for the entire year, you'll only hear how insane Nitro is. Because of that one game, though, that people will remember, you know? And I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying, like, just giving an example. Like,
happens all the time.
There's so much more to a good there's so much more to a good player than just, like, how many kills he puts up. Like, and that's what I respect about SK, because I've actually like heard their players communicate. It's like they play for each other, regardless of how skilled they are themselves. And like they throw nades for each other. They utilize grenades properly. They just the amount of info they give is really, really good to their in-game leader. All that stuff is what makes you a good player. Not like everyone has a base amount of aim. You know,
I feel like the difference in mentality between them and like a North American team is that I feel like SK sets up all 5 players to succeed on their team, whereas I feel like a lot of NA teams have like 2 people on each team where they're just like not gonna do well. Like just the NA teams, I find, base their game around like the Awper usually, and then like the 2 quote unquote star players, and then there's just 2 people on the team that just don't have a chance to do well because they're supporting for the good players on the team, but the good players on the team don't know how to support the not as good players, if that makes sense.
I think SK did it right because they have Taco do everything that no one wants to do. And it kind of sucks for him because he's never going to do well. Like, Taco's never going to have a tournament where he top frags. No offense to the guy. It doesn't matter if he was better than Cold Zero or not. He's never gonna outperform Cold Zero because
unless
of
he
his
has CT
role.
sides, unless he has really good CT sides. Yeah.
Unless if they
But
just
even
keep
on
coming
CT
to his
sides,
site,
he's always the anchor,
like
right? Like always. So
he's the solo anchor that is just surviving. He's not even taking battles. He's just living.
Have you seen that guy on top of Shroud Box, by the way? Like the on Cash, he literally never dies. He gets 4 kills and never dies there. It's so impressive.
No, he's a good player. Like people like to talk shit, because he'll be like, 14 and 20 at the end of the half, but 9 of those kills probably came on CT holding a site by himself. And then on T side, he's literally being thrown in first. When they go B on Mirage, who's running in first? Taco's running in first, blind, and his goal is to die and tell them where the people are. So Cold Zero for
Cobble, same thing. He's upper B.
Yeah. He's going out first upper B and he's dying. And guess what? If he gets a kill, they win 100% of the time. It's just look who's behind him. If he entries, it's over. But, if he dies, he just has, one chicken coop, one statue, one, rock, and then bam, they all know what to do. And so I just think that people underrate people like him. And, you say you cut Taco and you throw in, I don't even know, bolts or like someone like
KNG or some shit.
KNG, it doesn't make them it makes them worse because they're not going to do what he does. Or if they do, they're not going to want to do it.
No, I agree. I think that the value of a player is heavily like, I don't know. It's just so. Sometimes I feel like the things that matter the most are so underrated in North America or in general now in Counter-Strike. Like people always look at kills, stats, all that shit. But people don't understand what like the value actually is in terms of players, you know. And I'm not talking about like maybe the casters and stuff do, but like I feel like the general public just doesn't even understand like what goes into a good Counter-Strike player. You know, it's not all about like kills and stuff because anybody could bait, have their first two players go in, get the kills, get the next two kills in a 1v4, you know, and die and have a decent KD and end up like having good stats, and all of a sudden people are like, wow, this guy's just carrying, you know.
Yeah,
not
it's
impact
like
kills.
It's like what you guys say is like, you know, in NA you'll develop a system around like maybe, you know, you got a Liege being the star and then like the Awpers being catered to a bit and then maybe Twist and the other two are left out, you know. But I feel like in NA a lot of the support players, they're like the ones like throwing the nades and like setting up like aggressive players like a Liege and Stewie up. Whereas like I honestly feel like it's better to throw your worst players in first. You know what I mean? Like kind of like make them able, like
Make
set them up.
Yeah.
Set your worst player, set him up for success, because once you take the site, Alish can hold the fucking site. You know what I mean?
What's funny
like,
is Stewie does that. Like when he's calling, he's the one that goes out first. I've noticed that a lot because he just gets info and then like people like Tim and like Jordan clean up.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And Stewie wants to do that, so he wants to do that's great. But I mean, like personally, if I was on C9, I'd rather have Jordan go in first,
right.
get the info, and then have Stewie kind of, you know, hold the after like the retake or whatever. Just because you know
it's a lot easier to go in first when you're the in-game leader because you know the timing.
It is.
Like you make your own timing, so like it's a lot easier that way as opposed to being like, yo, this guy do this because you don't know his timing. So
especially if you want to run through a smoke or something, you like kind of lead by example. Like if you're the caller and you're in the back and you're like, go through the smoke, your team will hesitate. But if you're the first guy and you're like, let's go through the smoke, they'll follow you because you did the hardest thing by actually going through there.
By example, right? Kind of thing. Like if you're, you know, you tell someone to go through a smoke, they hesitate, they don't want to go through it. If you're the one going through it, then the people got to follow you, dog.
They're gonna follow you, and if they don't follow you, that's when you bitch at them. You're like, the fuck, man.
Like, hey, I'm doing it, you do it too, right? Like, you know, that's I like that. But I have this theory about why NA comms are so bad, and I think it's literally because of the English language. Like the English language is so complex and just like not good. It's just not a good language. Like there's so many words that mean the same thing. You have to be so specific with things. Whereas in other languages, like they say like one word that means like a whole sentence in English. Like there's lots of languages that are like that. And I think that's part of the reason why
I think it's partially laziness as well.
Yeah,
like you could just like teams don't go into servers and like, hey, let's simplify all the spots and like learn how to call stuff differently.
We did it a bit on TSM, but we never did it like probably as much as we should have. Like
I have like a whole system written down of simplified terms for everything.
So what I've learned from what you just said is the speedrunners on Twitch and stuff, they always play the Japanese version of the game because the text is shorter, so they save time. So we need to all be learning Japanese so we can have quicker comms.
Yep.
This makes a lot of sense.
That's what I'm saying. We should all learn Japanese.
Imagine how hard the people would be thrown off by our comms.
We're all just comming in Japanese. Like that would be
all hilarious. The orgs are hiring like these Japanese teachers to teach us improve our games.
Do you guys think? Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to ask. Actually, this is completely off topic, but do you guys think like having a coach that, because we have this on CLG, but I wanted to know your guys' opinion. Like having a coach outside the game that like takes care of people going to the gym, takes care of people like doing things like meditating or just doing all that type of stuff. Just a sports. What do you call it?
Psychologist.
I wouldn't call it like a psychologist. I guess like Astralis has one, right? That blonde chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, do you guys think that's necessary? Like, do you guys think like you'd want that?
Depends on the team. If the team's very like at odds with each other and people aren't like getting along, then I think it's necessary.
Well, I think he's talking more about just out of game, like not team related. He's talking about like
just
that's what I mean. Like out of game as well. Like
do you guys think it's necessary for like teammates to constantly hang out with each other? Basically, what I'm asking is like, do you guys think like that sync like this? just having friendship outside the game is really that important to like having success in the game?
Like, yes and no. Like, I feel like what you learn, like playing competitive sports, like what you learn is you don't have to be friends, but you have to be teammates. And there's a certain way you treat your teammates that where you're in between acquaintances and friends, right? Where like you don't have to hang out all the time, you don't have to hit it off, but when you're in teammate mode, you treat them like teammates, right?
Like in the server, it's like
yeah,
you
in
play
the
for that
server,
person.
In practice, you treat them like teammates. But then once you're done, you don't have to be friends. That's what I learned a lot in competitive sports growing. That's what I learned growing up, anyways.
On top of that, it's like you can't have a situation where like you have one guy on your team where like no one wants to room with him or something, or like you just anytime you see him, you just don't want to talk to him, right? Like if it gets to that point, then someone like that's necessary, in my opinion.
So like, okay, no, go ahead, finish your thing.
No, I was just saying, like, if it gets to a point where it deteriorates, like, really poorly, and, like, either 4 people don't like one person, or there's, like, a rift where, like, half the team doesn't like the other half, then that's sort of where someone like that could definitely help, yeah.
I was going to ask, because we talked about TSM in the last podcast. We talked about all the shit. All of the possible shit.
Yeah, that's a past team.
I'll talk about
past teams. So now the PTR is past news for Energy. Can we talk about PTR's ups and downs and what happened with that? Because I could talk about my side of PTR if you want. You know, like as a player, I think he's like, you know, how what I think of him as a player and stuff, and I'll go over all that. But like, what happened, Daps?
I mean, how about you talk about your experiences with Pete, and then I'll confirm deny.
Oh, okay.
All right. I think it's too early for me to
You're kind of
say
bitching out here, Dabs.
I mean, I don't mind doing it because for me, it was years ago. You know, like the last time I played with Peter was I can't even remember how many years.
Here, I'll give you guys my outside opinion, and then you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I think Pete is a very skilled player. I think he's very emotional. If he's doing really well, he'll continue doing really well. But I think his biggest problem is nerves. I feel like online he doesn't really have a big problem putting up numbers. And I don't think when he goes to LAN it's like he's cheating or something, so he sucks. It's just like, I think you lose the pistol and he goes down 0-4 and it's over for him. Like, he's not going to perform well. Like, whereas online I feel like he would come back from being 0-4 and maybe, you know, wins a bunch of rounds. I just feel like he's way too in his own head about like wanting to have these big performances and carry the team, that when he gets to LAN, it's like so much pressure on him that he just crumbles under it.
And you think it's self-inflicted pressure more than outside pressure?
I don't think a lot of people are talking shit to PTR. Like, Dazed and Steel and shit talk shit to him a little bit. I have, but like, it's not. There's not like a whole community after PTR saying like he sucks or something. You know what I mean? It's like,
from my experience, when he was on CLG, he was a really, really good teammate. For the first 3 months that you have Peter, he's literally the best teammate you'll ever have. He'll probably be the most hardworking on the team. He'll put in the most possible time. He'll, you know, make sure everybody else is comfortable. He'll make sure all his comms are good. He's literally the perfect teammate when you have him for the first 3 months in your team. After that, when your team is doing really well because of how good of a teammate he is, his attitude for whatever reason switches. It literally 180s into like, when he has like really, really good performances, the problem with him is it gets to his head, and this is just my opinion, this is not like a fact, it's just how I feel. It's like these big games, for example, the LDLC game, the really famous one, got to his head, and then eventually he starts going in on his teammates. His problem was like for the first 3 months that I had him, he's really, really, really good teammate, like I said, and then all of a sudden there was just a 180 switch where he started like, him and I started arguing consistently over strats, which never happened. And like, he started undermining me, and then he wanted to call over me. And like, to me, I'd already proven that I was a decent caller, at least to the rest of the teammates. It was just him all of a sudden. So like, that made it really difficult for me to be a teammate with him. And then his performance starts going downhill because he's constantly arguing and he's not in a good mood anymore. And he's constantly negative. So like, that's what happened on CLG. And that's why like we had to replace him on CLG and add JDM, was because PTR simply was like, it became a liability after a while. Like, his attitude became a liability, his comms, everything changed from all this positive shit to all negative.
And
really,
some
really
people
quick.
perform really badly when they're not happy. You know,
Yeah,
like some
exactly.
players, they can be mad and hate their team, but they'll still play
And that's
well.
why I think his
But
performance
some
went
don't.
downhill was because his own attitude. Like he did it to himself. And like I told him multiple times, like we got into so many arguments all of a sudden. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? Like you and I used to be like fine. We used to like see eye to eye easily, but like now that like we're struggling a little bit, he like 180'd on me completely as an in-game leader, and like that annoyed the shit out of me. And so him and I were like at odds, and then he started like hanging out with other teams at lands and stuff like that. You know, just these little things that add up and turned into one of those things where we had to get rid of him on CLG. So he's not a bad player, like Kory said. He's definitely not a bad player, but I think he just does half the shit that he like that happens to him or his bad performance are on him. Like he does it to himself for the most part. But yeah.
Yeah,
Now
I mean, I don't want to like, I don't know how much I can say, but on the team, it was like, just it wasn't just his fault. Like just from the outset with energy, like we picked up Marky, who was not our first choice, but we didn't really have a choice for a fifth player. So like the first month, everything was good, right? We're like, okay, let's try and make Marky like a really good player. Let's see how it goes. After like a month, we knew we had to get rid of Marky because his communication was already bad because English isn't his first language. But other than that, he didn't say anything ever really. And we told him, we're like, Marky, you have really good aim and stuff. Like he won us some rounds we shouldn't have won because his aim was insane. But like he couldn't play in an English system, right? So like after a month with Marky, we knew we had to cut him, but we couldn't cut him right away. So just starting from there, we already knew we're cutting someone, so it kind of ruins motivation in the team as a whole, and that's partially on me as well. Like I shouldn't have that. We're in the I should make it so everyone's still motivated regardless of that. But it's hard when you know you're getting rid of somebody, and then bringing Derek in after or Little Man. Like I told Little Man when we picked him up, I'm like, yeah, we're like we wanted to do more of a tryout with him, but he told us like he didn't want to just leave Rush without being like guaranteed a period of time. So I told him we'll give you to the end of like Pro League and ECS, which we did. And we just made a decision after that. And I like Derek. Derek's a good teammate, but there wasn't like a fit for him in the team. Like I think Derek could be a good support player in a decent team. But besides the point is that like when we had Derek or Little Man on the team, we knew we were probably getting rid of him as well. So pretty much for the first half of this year, we knew we weren't going to have a player that was on the team, which kind of ruined my motivation and my work ethic.
It's not fun to go over a lot of strats and a lot of setups, knowing that like
we know that shit, Kory, with Canadian having to come in for us.
Yeah, it's just like all right, let's go real hard to then go real hard again with our new fifth, and then you know what I mean, like. As much as people like to say, well, you're a professional player and you get paid, you don't know how much it sucks. Like starting like ground up with the team, like going over all the strats, all the fundamentals, all the rules, all the CT sides, all the nades, everything. Mm-hmm. It's tedious. It's not a fun thing to do. Like no one likes doing it.
It is the first time because you just made the team. After that, it becomes quite a nightmare when you constantly switch players.
Especially when you're switching rules and stuff. Like if you took an Awper out and you replaced an Awper, it's a little bit different. It's a lot easier. You just kind of plug them in your system and you're like, these are nades you need to know. But, you know, if you replaced a support player with like a star player and now someone else is going to be more of a support, that's when you get all the role changes and you got to like, it ruins your chemistry. It ruins the setups are changing. And maybe me and FNS played B really well and now I'm playing A and he's playing with someone else. You know, there's a lot of little changes that become annoying. Basically,
yeah. But yeah, where did I leave off? Yeah, so that right there already, the team is kind of in a weird limbo. Like I honestly, we shouldn't have made Pro League. Like I'm surprised we did as well as we did, considering our team situation the whole year.
Honestly, I was gonna say, like you guys made all the important. Like you guys had a really ridiculous lineup. When you look at the firepower, you guys had a good lineup. So like, I just didn't understand why it didn't translate to LAN.
Well, that's the thing, right? So we went to a few lands. Like we had close. Like we should have beat Optic at Pro League. We were up like 15-13, got eco'd. NAF won a 1v2 to push it to OT. Like we lost 3 rounds we shouldn't have. It doesn't matter though. Like going 1-4 to 0-5 doesn't make a difference. But on LAN, it was just sort of like kind of the same things you guys talked about before. I think sometimes Pete just harps on things too much in terms of like if something goes wrong, it'll stay there rather than just like move on. Pro League actually, Pete was a lot better at Pro League. It was more so Valencia and Atlanta that was kind of where things were going downhill. Because like the problem, if I backtrack a bit, like the problem in the team is like no one really talked to each other. Like I'm not going to say names, but like there was already some resentment between players and like Pete or like other players on the team before that, like before I had even joined Energy. So I came into a situation where like I didn't really know everything as well. The problem though, like we had Professor Chaos. Professor Chaos is a good analyst, but he knew all the problems in the team, right? Because like I would tell Professor Chaos I had problems with Pete. Pete would tell Professor Chaos he had problems with me. Fugly would say he had problems. Blah blah blah. Right? The list goes on. So the problem is that our coach never brought us together and tried to fix it, and it
that's
kept,
not Andrew's personality.
It kept boiling and boiling and boiling. And instead of trying to fix the problem, he tried to get people replaced because Professor Chaos thought I was really, really lazy and that I like wasn't doing my job properly. But I told him that we know we're cutting these players. Like I'm not going 120%. We're gonna change it, like we're gonna change roles too. Like I was gonna be entry fragging and stuff. Like we're gonna change pretty much everything. What's the plan? So I told him that was the reason why. But instead of trying to like fix our problems, it just kept boiling and boiling. And then after Pro League happened, there was like a lot of shit said, like blah blah blah, and we had like a huge team talk after Pro League and like resolved it. Like we tried to resolve it as best we could. Like it was patchwork, but we all got on the same page for like the first time after 6 months. And I'm like, okay, like yeah, this can work. Like because like I like Pete as a player. Like I picked Pete over other Awpers. Like I had the choice to join other teams and like pick other players before the year started, and I picked Pete because I'm like, yeah, like this guy's really good. Like, and I like the fact that Pete talks and like has input. But back to the point of the only problem I had with Pete on the team, like I can deal with his emotions as well because I've had I played with like Optic and Conquest. Like I played with emotional people and like Ragers and stuff. So it's like I can deal with that part of it. The only problem the only problem that kind of it was hard for me to earn his respect, I feel, because he had Gob B as an in-game leader the year before. So pretty much any argument that was ever had or any reasoning that he would use against my reasoning is that Gob B did it this way. And it was hard. Like Pete outside of the game's reasonable. Like we would have good discussions and like come to a conclusion. But during the game, I wouldn't be able to say much because like you said, he undermined your calling on CLG or whatever. Like it was kind of the same situation. But it was hard for me to like say my point, and then there was like a lot of overcalling and stuff, and it created confusion within the team. And
what's funny about Pete is that he's not wrong most of the time. Like his criticism is fine. Like a lot of the times when my teammates criticize me or say, yo, like I feel like we should run this chart a little bit more, I never like yell at them or get mad at them. I accept it. I understand. And like maybe I'll have an argument or two about it, like why I didn't do it, but like it's never turns into what it turned into with Pete. With Pete, the way he told you was like, so like, dude, this is obvious. Like
just
we should be hindsight 2020 type.
Yeah,
really condescending or what?
Yeah, right. But this was like after that 3-month period, you know? Mm-hmm. The first time you acquire Peter, like right now, if I just picked up Peter and like say cut Kusa or some shit, and I have him on my team, he'll be perfect for the first 3 months. It's after you do well, and then like he starts playing badly for whatever reason, like if he has like a bad event or something, it almost seems like he makes it seem like it's your fault, like as in like, oh, like you didn't call well enough and you didn't utilize me enough, so I played bad type thing. It doesn't like, I don't know if that's what he thinks, but like the way he like criticizes and the way that like the way he says things is basically like, oh, if I'm not, the way it seems at least is like if I'm not playing well, me being PTR, then it's on you guys. Like, it's your fault that I'm not playing well type thing. Like if he doesn't have a good game, I called badly. It almost seems like. Do you know what I mean?
It was its worst in Atlanta. Like it was the point where it started pissing off our new player, ANJ, and it was just we played Inferno against who was it? Inferno against Godsend or whatever. So like our best map, right? Like the map I'm most confident in calling, and I got overcalled probably 6 or 7 rounds T side. Like I didn't even call half the match for that match. So it was like that's when like the rest of the team was like, "Okay, this needs to stop." Like I can barely get a word in.
And the problem with overcalling is like let's say a player has like these great ideas on your team, like a second or third caller on your team, and he's like, "Oh, if we did this," and in theory, you know, it might not be a bad strat, might not be a bad thing, but as a caller, you might have a plan, right? You might, in your head, you're like, regardless of pistol, say we lose pistol and we go down like 0-3 or win, whatever, right? So the first gun round, you might want to run like, just like a wrap strat on Inferno, you know, just wrap. And then the next time you're going to do a wrap shack, but it's going to be just one guy wrapping for B or something, you know, like you have a plan that even if you lose a round, you're going to fake off of the round that you won or lost, you know? So in your mind, you have like a couple more things that might be going on in your game plan.
Yeah. Right.
Then
game plan for the half, not just for one round.
Yeah, not for just one round. And maybe you have a gimmick for the very first gun round. Maybe you watch the demo and you're like, all right, if we just throw like a couple, we make some noise here, they're going to over-rotate 4 to the site. And then one guy's going to be, we're going to have like a 10-second window where this guy's like alone and we're just going to hit him. It's not going to be smart. It's not going to be like a good strat, but you're just going to gamble on the fact the guy's going to leave him and you're going to overwhelm him and take the site for free. And then you play your game normally after that. You know, like there's a bunch of stuff people do, and Fallen does that shit great too. You know, like just like picking a player that's weak at a site or something and just exploiting it once or twice and then playing your normal game. And when people overcall you, it's one of those things where they just fucked up your whole system. Like,
they throw you off.
They throw you off, and then you're like, oh shit, okay, well, oh shit, it's 05 now. Okay, well, all right, let's just do our B execute. You know, like you kind of fucking lose yourself when people do that,
Kind of lose your mojo a bit.
Yeah,
and you lose your confidence while you're at it too. Like when people consistently overcall, you lose confidence.
Well, I remember Days said in an interview like a long time ago, like I think before he got banned, it was like it's better if you have 3 people, or it's better if you have all 5 people doing the wrong thing than 3 people doing the wrong thing and 2 people doing the right thing.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Like it's like even if let's say every time someone overcalls me and let's say they're right 100% of the time, it still creates that confusion that like, especially some of my players are less experienced, right? So like they may not know what to do if like there's 2 calls and then they're just like, okay, what are we doing? And then you have like a few seconds to fit something in, and people are just, it just creates mass confusion, and it's not good at all.
It's one of the reasons that Fnatic was successful when they played with their kind of rando style, you know, when JW's and crazy shit, because when you 5 players do the wrong thing but together, like if someone walks up Ivy by themselves, right? It might be stupid, right? You might think like, oh, you're by yourself, you walk through smoke, whatever. But if you got a teammate in team mid also picking out with an op, a dude down ladder, and a guy picking in her at the same time, and you're all kind of aggro at the same time, it puts pressure on everyone. So there's going to be an opening somewhere. Whereas like if you play really passive and you got a dude above ladder, a guy holding back white walls, a dude outside team mid, and your Awpers just posted somewhere, and one dude walks up IB, even if he gets a kill and dies, no one can do anything from it. You know, like no one's like, oh shit, he got this kill, let's move, because everyone's just holding, you know, and like that's an example of just, you know, one guy's doing his own thing. Yeah.
Letting the other team make the mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I don't know.
To say like one last, like with Pete, I think Pete can be really good if he has the right group of people around him. And I truly believe that. I think if Pete has like,
I agree with that,
people with his same mindset around him, then he can be really successful. And I think I don't know his hurdles or like mental blocks if he has any on LAN, but like if he can get like a sport, if the team he's on can get like a sports psychologist or just someone that can help him break that like barrier, then if he played the same, he'd be a god, right? Best Opper NA.
Well, the other thing is that style of opping doesn't translate to LAN very well either. Like there's very few players that can translate that style of opping onto LAN, and Kenny S is one of them, and he's kind of the only one right now.
He just has to be very. Yeah, I agree. Like
He's
continue.
Kenny S is like the only Opper right now who does that re-peak style. Henny kind of, but I wouldn't say Henny hits the consistency levels that Kenny
That's what I was
S
gonna say.
hits,
You have to be a
right?
very consistent operator to do that.
Like Henny has the skill to do it, and you'll see games where he can pull off that style of opping on LAN, but he doesn't pull that off consistently. Right? Like he doesn't pull off the big games consistently with that style. Kenny S is literally the only player, the only opper right now that has that constant re-peak, peek into you, push you, fight you style of opping that and makes it work on LAN. Like
it's because Kenny S is a fucking rattlesnake.
Yeah,
dude.
no,
You
Kenny
see
S
this
is
guy.
insane.
He's
He's
just like
insane.
his crosser just teleports to
yeah,
people
no,
and they
he's
just
fucking
die.
he's nuts.
Like
He's nuts.
What people don't understand about Awpers is like how important it is to be good on CT side. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how good you are on T side. You don't have to even op on T side sometimes, but on CT side you have to lock it down. Like
Well, and the
it's
thing
the
is,
only way you're gonna win your CT side.
that style of opping where you're taking fights and you're peeking into people on CT sides. A lot of the times, what I notice is like when I'm watching these demos of like any North American opper for the most part, they'll like they won't use their teammates and they won't use their nades online because they can get away with it. Right, like they can take peaks, they can take fights, they can do these things, and then you go on LAN and you watch Astralis, and Device is like has the best setup ever, always. Like he's always in the perfect position he wants to be in to post on an angle. He always has some sort of support nades, whether they threw it to get him into that position or they're gonna throw it to get him out of that position. And then he always has like, I'm in this position, then I'm gonna fall back to this position, then I'm gonna fall back to this position, then I'm gonna fall back to this position. He always has everything fucking mapped out. I don't know if it's in his mind or like pre-planned, but everything when you watch Astralis play, Device is so like
Mobile.
he's calculated. He's mobile and calculated. Like everything he does is really precise, and there's always teammates supporting him. Whereas
fundamentally, Device is
he's
the
like the
best.
least risky
yeah,
opper.
the least risky, who still puts up insane numbers, right? Who still gets kills like that. Like there's oppers that play not
But
risky.
that's because the Astralis playstyle is around not playing with risk. They make sure they play percentage CS. Like whatever, like their map control style is same thing with Gambit. They take map control because that's going to give you the highest percentage of win. But there are some teams like SK who will take gambles and just go 4 down lower randomly, or like Immortals especially. Holy fuck, Immortals scrim harder than everyone, dude. On LAN, online doesn't matter. Their calling is so random sometimes. I'm just like, I don't know.
And people also don't understand that when you go to LAN, it's a lot different. If I'm up in mid on Mirage and a bunch of AKs are fighting me with 40 and 60 ping, I'm going to get away with a lot more than when a bunch of dudes have 3 ping and can just fucking crack me in the head with like 1 bullet. Like it's much harder to like the op is better on LAN because it's quicker, but at the same time you'll get taken out quicker if you fuck up. Like you don't get second chances on LAN, especially versus better opponents, because you're taking in the fact that they also have 3 ping now and they're better players. So I mean the combo is just
the
like
main stylistic difference is on LAN online if you're an opper and you post up on an angle, you get like you get peeker's advantage like fucking crazy. Like people can just wide swing into you and fucking bop you. Like,
I get it.
Yeah. But then on LAN, you can actually post up on angles. Like you can actually post up on LAN. You can't do that online. Like you can, but it's way riskier. It's actually riskier online to post up.
That's another reason I fucking like Renegades, dude. Everyone's scrimming these days. No one's trying to play for strats, man. If I don't call a strat, no one calls a strat. People just start running around.
Yeah, no, I don't even bother. Like I always have the
so
strat button
boring,
next to
man.
me,
It's
and
not even fun.
I don't even bother.
Rankus, CS for me is not fun when it's not coordinated. It's honestly not fun at all. I hate just pugging. There's a reason I don't like ESA pugging, because what's the point of going into a server and like not even trying? I don't even think it's such a big part being coordinated in order to be able to win, to me at least.
Well, if you go into a pug and you try mad hard, like what do you really get out of it? Killing a bunch of noobs.
But also I don't like playing CS that's uncoordinated. So sometimes I like to call strats and rank S just to make it coordinated. But other times I just want other people to say words. Like I wish other people just stepped up and like started calling. Even if you're not a caller, fucking learn. Like it doesn't hurt you to learn how to fucking call. But I don't even think these people know how to load a demo, half these guys. So it's
the worst part is like hugging on CT side, because you just have to rely on your teammates to like do things.
Yeah.
Like you're just like playing connector on Mirage, for example, and just like the whole T side is already up connector.
And I love how
like
sensitive people are in rank S. Like this James IRL guy hates me because I told him he shouldn't be playing triple box one time. Like
yeah, no,
like
the thing about James is when he first came into rank S, he was fine, but he makes a lot of mistakes. and he's a nice guy, but he makes a lot of mistakes, and a lot of people call him out on his mistakes, and you can tell by the tone of his voice, he's fucking over getting told that he's shit.
But also
over
like,
it. Like
kill-
you
that-
can
I'll
tell
give
by
you
the
a
way
That's
he
the
perfect
worst
responds.
mentality.
I'm
I'll
just
give you an
saying. I'm
example
just saying.
of-
Like every time you try and like now when you because I play cat on Mirage a lot of the times in rank S or B or something, and whenever I play with James, he ends up being on my I always end up playing sites with him, and every time I tell him like, yo, you should have done this or this, you should you needed to communicate this or blah blah blah, he's just kind of fucking over it. Like you can tell he's like, I don't like I'm sick of people telling me I'm shit. I don't think I'm shit kind of thing.
The worst one for me in rank S was when I told Kilpo1. I don't even know if he plays anymore.
I don't think
but
he does. I think he's done too.
But I told this guy right from this like second or third round or something. So it was like really early in the game on Cobble. I'm like, yo, on CT side, I'm like, dude, can you go chicken coop? I'm gonna play Cubby. You could bait them into me. And he didn't say anything. So I'm like, dude, can you please go chicken coop? So I repeated myself, and he goes, dude, I don't want to be micromanaged. I don't play rank S to be. I don't play rank S to be micromanaged.
Wow, that's crazy.
Stewie was right there. He could confirm what I'm saying. Right, I couldn't believe my ears at what he said. I thought he was kidding. I'm like,
yeah, you thought
you're
he was
joking
fucking with you? Yeah.
I'm like, you're joking. He's like, dude, I'm not here to be micromanaged. I'm like, oh my fuck. It tilted me, and I don't normally get tilted very easily, but I just couldn't believe what I was hearing from just this noob.
Yeah, me and Breezy pugged last night, and you remember Fighter? He got removed from rank S. It's like all this kid was doing last night is Mac 10ing down drop T side. Like he has full money. He's just what is he practicing? He's just Mac 10ing this noob drop every round and just like out connector.
I honestly do wish some people like Dapper is kind of decent in this, but like I wish some people in rank S did just kind of like calm a little bit better, like just start talking more, like just try to become more than just aim machines, you know? Like everyone has aim. It's not going to separate you from the rest of the players.
Well, this is what I said. I don't know if you guys agree because I want to ask you guys your opinions on this. So to my stream, I was kind of bitching because like I get owned in rank S a lot because like people just leave shit open. You know what I mean? Like you're always getting flanked and like CG side playing A on Mirage, dude. I don't know what to do. They're like in my window, behind me, like in connector T ramp halls, and no one apparently is helping me ever somehow.
Straight up, whenever I play A in rank S, I just play retake A on ticket. And
you can't play the site, right? It's impossible.
You can't. Like you get sandwiched the whole game. Like you cannot do it. So I straight up tell my team always, I'm like, yo, I'm just playing retake A. Like I
play retake as well. One time I played under Belk, dude. There was a guy coming out halls, and there was a guy at bench. But I had to clear.
That was yesterday. I fucking blasted you. No, yeah, you were real bad yesterday.
I was real bad yesterday.
You were real bad, dude. There was one
round.
Love
match.
There was one round. There was one round where you were like top of T stairs, and I had a Tech 9. I was bottom stairs, no armor. You sprayed 30 M4 bullets, hit me one time, and then I Tech 9'd you, and I was like, FNS. I remember. I think I literally took the chat. I'm like, FNS, you're so shit.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
But in a match, you're all dead.
Yeah, but my main point is like I feel like you have all these kids, right? So the first goal of a new player is like he's like, shit, I gotta make rank S. So he grinds the shit out of ESEA pugs as his only goal in life. 12 hours per day, Red Bull, Mountain Dew, fucking everything, dude, just in his mouth. No life, just plays that shit all day, which is fine because that's gonna get you better, right? Like I'm not talking shit.
Playing
it's just
the game
like
will get you better, naturally.
Yeah, playing the game's gonna get you better. So he finally makes rank S. Now he's in rank S. Now his goal is to be the best rank S fragger. So he's not common. He's just doing everything he can. He's playing rank S 8 hours a night. Where is your team at? Where is your fucking team? When are you practicing with your fucking team? When are you working up main and premier to win that shit? That's where you should be putting your effort in. Watch demos, make your fucking team better. But these fucking idiots just focus on rank S and pugs all day, every day.
Because they want to get picked up. Yeah, because they want to get picked out by Cloud9 or Optic or something.
It doesn't work like that. For most people, if you are super skilled, if you have Simple's level of skill, make it to rank S. I promise you will be picked up by a good team. Do it. If you are that fucking good, make rank S, you will make a good team. But if you're not naturally better than everyone you play versus, work your way up in Premier. That's way easier. Like it's way better.
That's why I said they need to try to separate themselves from the herd, but they don't. They just aim. Everyone tries to aim. Like on rank S is smoke top mid for me. I'm running connector.
Would you rather pick up a guy that's good in rank S, or would you rather a guy that has played 3 seasons of Premier and in his last one he started putting up numbers and carried his team, and maybe he was
anybody
like,
with league play for sure. It's way more.
Yeah.
I'd take an 85 ADR third season of Premier player over a 30 bomb rank Esser every game.
I mean, that's what we did. That's what we did with Marky. We're like, damn, this like Marky just started raping a rank S. We're like, let's just take a risk on him. Like, let's hope it works out. But
because a lot of the Premier players, they may not be as maybe individually skilled as someone like Marky, even though, in my opinion, that kid's just on everyone's stream.
Their goal is to play
fucking
team
every day.
CS,
But,
which is way more important.
Yeah, they're better at teamwork. They know how to do setups, strats, and stuff like that. And maybe their knowledge of a strat isn't as in depth as like us because we played at a higher level. But at the same time, at least they're watching demos. You know,
It
like
shows motivation, when they're trying to grind their way up the leagues.
Yeah.
It shows the motivation in the right way.
And when you look in Europe, how many fucking players are on good teams in Europe because of like FPL, like Oscar maybe? But Oscar's been around for fucking 50 years.
Isn't Robs in rank S or no? Can't remember.
Well,
yeah, Rob's
Yeah.
yeah.
Rob. I guess Rob
FPL.
and Oscar are 2 players that maybe got picked up by Renegades, but in my opinion,
Oscar had been around even in the 1.6 pro scene.
Yeah, no, he's literally been a pro for like 15 years, dude. He's been around Ringer. Like he just played a Renegades because he liked it, I guess. But like most of the people that you see in getting picked up by NIP, by all these different teams that are newer, they got picked up from other teams that were oddly enough competing at other tournaments. Fucking, they can gauge you playing at a DreamHack or maybe a tier 2 LAN and be like, hey man, this guy's a pretty good entry fragger, he works pretty well. And then they'll message some of their friends and be like, how's this player? Oh yeah, he comms well. And then they play with you and they might like you. But I don't know, I don't think a lot of people are going to make it just for being good in rank S. Like
all the while Brazilians have these just harvesting KNGs and Cold Zeras who literally no one knows where they're from.
That's what I told my org. I told Splice because we needed 2 players at the start, right? I was like,
wait, I have to interrupt you. Did you see that guy that was playing with his feet in that tournament?
No, I didn't see that.
Did you guys see that?
No.
There's a guy in that Brazilian tournament that Fallen hosted or whatever that was playing only with feet and
soon
was
be better
owning.
than Cold Zero.
And he was owning. I can't believe you guys haven't seen
gotta
that.
be kidding.
Nah, sorry God. And he was like high-fiving them with his feet and shit when he like won a good round and so it was fucking hilarious. No, but he was like getting a lot of kills too. It's pretty sick.
I told my org, I was like, just find the 2 best Brazilians from rank S or whatever. We don't need to know any English. You'll put them at a bomb site together. We're fine. They just play. They play all the small sites. They lock that shit down.
Like I didn't know who KNG was. I didn't know who Cold Zero was. But these guys are just nuts, man.
But they also were around. Like there's pictures of Cold Zero at LANs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
playing whatever dexterity.
They have a good scene there, and it's obvious, and it's getting better for them now because like they could see like SK winning, Immortals winning. They also want to like have the drive to win.
I mean, I think we're at the point now where South America can have its own pro league, right? And I'm not even just saying that. Like, I'm not even trying to bitch and complain. Like, I don't give a shit if they play a North American pro league. But I think we are actually at the point now where South America can have its own pro league. And I know the Brazilian guys would rather be back home in Brazil. You know what I mean? Like, and I think we're actually at the point where they could have an 8-team pro league. That would,
I
that would be competitive.
Here. I need the scrims. I can't.
Yeah, no,
I
fair
can't
enough.
lose
No,
Immortals
I'm
in
not
SK.
I'm not saying I want them to leave. I'm saying we're at the point where they could.
Yeah,
have
I'll make a
South American
compromise.
Pro League.
They
No, I want them to leave.
Brazilian
They need
league.
to
I can still scrim them.
They need to go, dude. If I'm to make any lands this season, they need to go. These guys are nutty.
I do find it weird that I mean this event or this minor cycle, it's not going to matter, but like that CIS and Europe has its own minors, and then but North America and South America have one minor. I thought that was
that's really weird. I mean, if it was just NA that had a minor and Immortals wasn't there, I would have made the major qualifier. But we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah,
Just did.
you kind of just did. You kind of just talked about it.
We won't talk about
What
it.
do you guys think about? We're in the wrong game though. Like Dota 2 is going on right now.
Seriously.
10 million first. Like
that's
that's where we should be going.
That's
that
actually
game
kind of
easy?
insane.
It's not easy. It's not. It's not
Alright.
easy.
But
I'm
how
not
not
playing it.
easy though? Because Counter-Strike's not easy.
No, it's too late for
How
us,
not
dude. It's
easy.
too late. We have
It
to.
is.
stick
Yeah,
with
I've
it.
been playing CS since 2007, so it's like I'm a bit late on the Dota 2 train.
With Dota, you could be good if you put in like 2 years of constant play, but you're playing versus kids that have like us. They've been playing from like 2005.
They
No,
played
Davey-
the original.
You
Just
can't tell Davey to switch
2003.
games. He just hit his prime. He won Fragadelphia.
True.
More events
Sure.
than you've won, Finesse. How many?
Speaking of which, wait, dude, I have to.
Oh yeah, congratulate me. Oh yeah, thank
Congrats,
you so much,
dude.
man.
No, that was a really important win. I'm really happy for you. I'm really glad that you've
Wait,
improved.
FNS, what was the last LAN you won FNS was WinOut?
The WinOut LAN, probably? Yeah.
WinOut
But
LAN.
I beat SK Gaming. This guy beat.
I got no.
Oh,
You
sorry.
didn't. You beat Luminosity Gaming.
Okay,
with bolts
same
and steel.
lineup. Literally,
I beat
the
them at that
exact same
event too.
What, they had steel and bolts back then.
No, they didn't. They had Cold Zero.
Yeah, they had Cold Zera, but they had steel and bolts still.
That was Cold
Really?
Zera before
Yeah,
we knew
that
who
was-
Cold
Oh,
Zera
yeah.
That was Cold
yeah.
Zera's first event.
And he owned there too.
Yeah, but he was entry fragging at that event. Remember? He was their
Yeah,
entry
yeah.
fragger.
And he owned there. That was the best part. I was like, dude, this kid's insane.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
No,
wait, let's
I-
stop talking about our accomplishments here.
No, the
Let's go
thing
on to
I
roster
specifically
changes.
remember about that event though
roster
was
changes.
every single time they went around, Cold Zera would stand up and there was a big like curtain in between like the two teams that were playing. Like there was like one team, you know, and they were like back to like the monitors were back to back, so they were facing each other, and there was a big black curtain in front of it. And Cold Zera would stand up and fucking do this. Like he would stand up and do this and hit on the curtain and scream at you guys. And I remember sitting behind you guys like, what the fuck is this guy
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, they were
Like,
freaking out when they would win, and they had their Brazilian
Yeah, Games
the
Academy.
Games Academy, who's now Immortals,
We beat them.
screaming behind them.
Yeah, we beat them 16-5, 16-3.
They
at
had
that
the
event. They were
biggest cheerleading
terrible.
squad ever.
Yeah,
And
that
just-
was a mistake. You guys shouldn't have beat them at those lands. You
Dude,
should,
they
you
were
shoulda- you
so
shoulda-
bad at
you
that
should have
event.
given
Like,
them
we
some
shit
false
on
confidence so
them.
they didn't try so hard.
I know. We
You guys
fucked up.
ruined. You guys
They
fucked
were
up.
so good.
All right.
Wait,
so
what roster
moving on to
changes?
roster changes? I can't open up that,
Uh,
that document, so you guys can.
You can't.
No, I mean I could. I can click on it, but
This
it's
roster
gonna
changes
fuck up
going
all
on.
the everything, so I can't do it.
Apparently, I'm going to Optic.
Hell yeah!
Let me just go
Finesse,
ahead and-
Congrats,
An Optic? Nice.
Wow.
Let me
wow,
just go
great
ahead
job.
and say
The
that
green
that's
wall.
not. Let me just go ahead and say that I have never been to this point, as far as I know, because I have agents everywhere. I have not been
Agents
contacted.
everywhere.
I
But you could have been sold. You don't know. Like you could have.
let me run
could have been sold.
down
I have
the-
not been contacted by Optic or any other team. I'm staying on CLG. I don't understand where these rumors are coming. Oh, I know where they're coming from, but I'm staying. As far as I know, I'm staying on CLG. So just to clarify.
Let me run down the potential list. So it's like FaZe is apparently going to be Nico, Olaf, Rain, Kerrigan, Guardian.
I heard about that Olaf link.
Is that
But
a good?
I heard Olaf is no longer Olaf though. But
Like he changed his alias, you mean? Or like?
no, I mean like
No,
they're
just
not
like
gonna play
him
with
as a player.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't care.
Like it's gonna be
Olaf has now
Kyo, but
switched into
Yeah,
another human.
Olaf has now changed to Meister. Like I don't know.
yeah.
Huh, yeah, no,
Um,
that one's interesting.
And apparently Fnatic, this guy has a spreadsheet. It says Dennis and Olaf are not on Fnatic anymore. It's just Crims, Lusha, GW.
Oh,
It's
so it's
like what they
Godsend
do.
V2. All
Pretty
over again.
much.
They're getting like what Electro and like
I'm not sure. And then Mouse Sports is
Forest
going to
and
be
Get Right.
insane though. If Mouse Sports is true, the Rops, Oscar, Sunny, Mixwell, Chris J.
they've already got Sunny.
Yeah. So
Oh, Mixwell's joining Mouse Sports.
That's rumored.
apparently,
I think it makes more sense now. I mean, I think we can talk about this, but like Optic had tried to pick up Lowell in the past, and Devs, maybe you could give more insight on why that didn't end up happening. I don't know if you can or not, but I know they tried to pick up Lowell in the past. When I saw that move happen with Mouse Sports, I thought it made more sense that Lowell would come over to Optic and not Mixwell going over to Mouse Sports. But I
think I
see
talked
why
about it
Mixwell
before.
would want to go over to Mouse Sports. I can see that.
I think
The
they
reason
both want to live at home.
Yeah, exactly right. Why
Well-
wouldn't you want to live at home? You know.
no, Lowell, back when I was on the team still, Lowell wanted to join our team. He got offered by Mouse Sports earlier, and he was waiting to join Mouse Sports to join Optic. But most of the team, only Mixwell really wanted Lowell, and the rest of us wanted Tarek. So it was kind of a mixture of that, and also I don't think Optic really wanted another Euro. Also, if you have a combo package, it's what happens if Mixwell and Lowell just leave together? Then it kind of just kills your team as well. So there's a lot of reasons why we wanted to pick Tarek over Lowell, but I think Tarek's
Well,
better.
what about making Mixwell happy, man? Because he's pretty emo at the end. He could have had
Yeah.
his boy with him. Just
I don't know if
hanging
that would have
out.
changed anything.
no.
I don't think that would have changed anything. personally. But yeah, if it's true, like I think that Mouse Sports lineup will be insane.
They'll be really good.
They're already really good.
Well, would Oscar be? Oscar wouldn't be opping on that team though, right?
What
No,
Cloud9?
yeah, he
Sonny
will.
would. You think so?
No.
Chris Shay's like in-game
Oscar's
beating,
gonna fucking
like,
op. There's
rifle.
no way Oscar doesn't op.
Oh, I meant Mixwell when I said Oscar. Sorry.
What about C9?
C9.
Is there any rumors about C9?
They're not
doing
on this
anything?
list.
I've heard.
Other than Shroud saying he was going to retire like 6 months ago.
You guys
I
don't
don't-
think they're gonna make any changes?
I haven't heard
Not-
anything.
Feels
Not
like
in the near
they,
future.
it feels like they might, but like
It's
you
always
never-
felt like they should, but it never
What
feels
the
like they're
hell?
going to though.
Who would you replace?
I would-
Davey.
Probably
I'm not
automatic.
saying I would.
Yeah, who would you just get rid of?
Get rid of Tim Stew.
Yeah, I'm not. No, I'm not saying I would replace.
Send him-
anyone. I
send
said
him to
it's always
Splice
felt
or
like they
shit.
should.
What do you mean by that? That means you feel like they should cut somebody.
Yeah,
Who's
who do you
gone?
want to cut, Davey?
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't have any. Like,
Get rid of one of them. Who is it?
Well, if you have to pick one person on that team to get rid of, it would be Shroud, right? Like that would be the person you'd have to
Wow.
pick.
Whoa, that's shady.
What the hell?
That's our boy here, dude.
All right, I guess. No, not
Okay.
even, not even, like, not even like he's bad.
He's
not
a
even,
fellow Canadian. You're trying to get him cut. That's
I'm
weird.
not- you
I
guys
see
are
what you're
fucked
doing.
up.
I see what you're doing. You want to make a Canadian
You
lineup
guys
at the
are-
end.
All
Let's do
right,
it.
we got our fifth.
Well, but yeah, I was about to say, like, we do need a fifth, don't we? Like, how else are we supposed to bring Shroud in?
Speaking
if
of
they
which,
won't
when
cut him, right?
speaking of which, when are we going to start practicing for TWC, the next one?
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
gotta-
god!
we gotta start
when they pay
warming
me
up.
my money.
Yeah, for
Tempest is
real.
down like $3,000 from the last.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's never going back to another one until they pay him back.
Just the event you lose money at.
All right,
Uh,
so Cloud9's not on the list. Who else is on?
For
the
me,
list?
C9, I feel like they gotta they gotta have someone else call it than Stewie. Like
Yeah.
that's their biggest issue. Like someone's got to man up, or they need to remove someone and get a caller. Like it doesn't matter who. Well, it does. You're not going to remove Ska, Automatic, or Tim, right? Or Stewie, right? Like those three are pretty much like not replaceable.
Yeah.
And then
I
Shroud's
think
kind of
Jordan
like,
has too much experience to remove him too, which is why I said
Well,
if you were
he
going
might-
to remove someone, it
but
had to
he
be
should
Shroud.
be calling. You know what I mean? Like he should be the one calling. Like
yes
he's
and no.
probably the weakest fragger on the team, and he's got the most experience.
I don't think he
So
is
just ma-
like stats wise. I don't think he is the weakest.
Who's
fragger on
lower
the
then?
team. I think
Shroud
Shroud
is.
is.
Shroud is.
I think Shroud's the
Last 3
weakest
months at least,
stats-wise
I
on the team for this whole year.
No, I think what Cloud9 needs is just an entry fragger who calls, so like they can also open, like kind of like Taco, you know, like or doesn't like Zeus entry frag on Gambit too?
As Zeus
Yeah.
does a bit.
Zeus
Yeah,
does.
so like they need an in-game leader like that, in my opinion. Like if I'm building C9, I want Stewie and Tim closing every round.
Yeah.
Like I don't want them being touched in the first 30 seconds.
I think
The
you
thing
do
is,
what
though,
like
I don't think you can do that with Stu because he likes to be that aggressive lurker that plays the rotations and plays the timings. I don't think you can have him as a closer. Doesn't fit his style of play.
No,
Even
you
though
just-
he'd be
you
good
just
at
gotta
it,
do
it doesn't
the-
fit- it doesn't fit his
He's a
mentality.
really good aggressive lurker, though. So
That's
it's
what I
fine.
mean. That's why you can.
you got to do the
that.
SK version where it's like whenever it's advantageous to be like aggressive, you let him do kind of what Fur does, you know. And then when it's a dangerous entry, then you put Taco and you sacrifice him. Like you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't ever be having Stewie go first just because he likes going first. If there's a good chance that he dies, because like there's certain sites like going out first Halls on Inferno, you're dead. Like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
fucking dead.
I didn't-
Like
I
unless
didn't-
you get really lucky, you're dead. And then the second, third guys are gonna trade. Like that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I didn't mean Stu as like the Deddy entry fragger. I meant like as that lurker. He
Oh,
likes
yeah, I
being
know.
the aggressive lurker and playing off the rotations and playing
Okay.
the timings and like catching people while they're rotating. So you can't really have him as like a dedicated.
I agree with
closer
that.
Because
I don't
he has
even
to
mean-
sort of play that fur role, right?
I meant closer in the sense that I don't want him doing what Kory was saying, like
Right.
jumping out
Yeah,
halls.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shit.
That should be Jordan or Shroud. Like for sure, it should be on that team.
Yeah. So that's why I think if they had an in-game leader who just did that, like a Zeus type player, then they'd be really good.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
yeah, that's true.
I don't know who else is on this list. NaVi, Electronic, and Angel.
The electronic guy's actually really good. Like I
Very good.
watched him at a tournament. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, this guy's his eyes are insane. He's just focused and he just spraying people down, dude. Like just
Nice.
like his aim is fast.
Well, I think the benefit
He's
of
whippy.
picking those two players up is not even just them; it's the fact that simple full-time ops. I think that's like
Yeah.
the biggest benefits of not having Guardian
I
anymore.
think him, Electronic, and Rops are like the two best up and comers and that haven't done anything yet in CS:GO.
Yeah, and people also, I see a lot of people on like Reddit and HLTV, and they're like, "Well, Simple is a much better rifler." Blah 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 blah. It's like, dude, have you seen this guy op? He doesn't give a fuck. Like, you guys want to see an Opper go get entries? You're about to see it. Like, it's just the dude's in the middle of smokes doing things nobody else does. You know what I mean? Like he's a quick
shot.
Yeah, and he hits every shot. Like, it's gonna work. Like I promise. Like he loves opping, and I don't know. I think. I tried to get Simple back when I was on Complexity. All right, I've been after this guy multiple years, but it never happened.
All right, so what about? Sorry.
No, go ahead. Don't worry about it.
I was gonna bring up the next team. So North, do you think Valdi replacing Magic's Boy will fix their problems?
I don't know. Like I don't know Valde like particularly well, but like he obviously was nuts, right? Like he was putting up crazy numbers. There's a reason why he got benched by Heroic though, and I don't know. You know, there's the public statements, there's the, you know, whatever goes on, but there's a reason. Like if a team benches their best player, that's not a good sign. Like that. Like for me, if I'm looking,
I think Config's the best player on that team.
No, I was talking about Heroic.
Oh,
like Heroic benched Valde, and he was by far their best player. Like not even like Yugi was playing pretty well, like but like Valde was by far their best player, and they benched him. And straight up said,
I mean, it's got to be to do with something with his attitude or being a bad teammate. It's one of the two things.
That's what it has to be.
That's
so
how every good player gets
if
replaced.
I'm looking at that and I'm North, I'm worried about that.
Yeah, because like they haven't really done anything.
I know skill-wise he has it, but like if they're cutting Magisk for attitude problems,
he's probably gonna be
and then
different
picking up another player, well, yeah, like maybe it's the first 3 months rule, right? Like.
Yeah.
You never know. Like if I'm North, I think that's risky. I can understand why they're doing it, and I'm not saying it's not a risk worth taking. I'm just saying if I'm them, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking this is a risk. Like we need to make sure we manage this properly.
I think Magic just had a bad attitude, right? Because he was like their #1 player for the first when North was first getting good, he was carrying them, and then they switched his roles and he was like just started being bad. Like he started having to play like upper B on Mirage and like. I think he probably just got tilted, like wanted to do more of his old shit that he owned at, and then maybe he just got toxic. But then Valdi,
did you see the interviews they did where they said that they like intentionally changed their roles up so players could like learn new things so that everyone wasn't tunnel visioned? Like they did it intentionally as like a long-term thing. Like they sacrificed short-term success to like make themselves a better team long-term overall. Is like by putting
that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
I'm just saying that was like well, I think it was Config said that in an interview.
Anyways, like when it comes to Valdi, like I know he's got skill. I've seen him play, but like he might have just got cut from Heroic because he was dumb. You know what I mean? Like he's a new player that. And don't get me wrong. I'm just saying this in general, but like he overpeaked a lot and just fought, and like he has really good aim. So maybe they're just like, man, we just need someone that. Isn't going to just fight all the time, you know. Everyone's played with that teammate that never stops fighting, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just, it doesn't matter if they have 25 kills. Sometimes you rather them have like 18 kills and just not die like an extra 4 times in like crucial rounds.
Yeah. Like, yeah, like
remember FNS when we would take B like every time on Cobble, and then like Twist would become the most aggressive player ever, like on like retakes. Like he would be passive the whole time, and then like we would just make the weirdest like late round decision. But that was obviously when they were newer, so like inexperienced and stuff. But
yeah, I think if we went over more like mid round things, we probably would have been better. But no, Russ in general has gotten a lot better. Same with Hunter. I would say less so for Hunter, but maybe that's because of the team he's on. Like Russ is playing with like 3 really good players and a decent in-game leader, right? So it's like a whole different environment. Although I don't think Liquid has done anything this year.
Yeah, no,
that I can remember.
Liquid's underperformed by everyone.
No, well, okay, wait.
That's for sure.
I'm not trying to talk shit, but I was watching Liquid's second episode. I don't know, they have like this series or whatever, and I was watching the second episode, and at the end of that episode, Nitro stated that in his opinion, Liquid has the most consistent results this year out of anyone in NA, out of all the NA teams.
Cloud9 does.
And I was shocked when I heard
Cloud9 won event.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
Cloud9 has had the best results this year.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, it blew my mind when I watched him say that. It's like, wow, that's not. I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to talk shit about Liquid, but they didn't.
And
do
Optic
anything
hasn't
this
had
year.
like an actual lineup the whole year. So
Optic didn't do shit. CLG didn't do anything really. No, like in terms of winning, and then like Liquid didn't do shit in terms of winning. So
Yeah, Cloud9's the only NA team that did anything this year.
So yeah, talking about NA roster changes, with the assumption Optic is removing Hazed and Mixwell, who are the fourth and fifth you pick up?
Well, I think the rumors.
Who
are
do
that
they
it's-
go for?
Well, the rumors are that it's JKS and Nifty. That's what.
why would
the-
Renegades let those players go? That makes no sense.
I'm just saying that's what the rumors are.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
It seems weird to me too. Like, I can understand.
So
why-
Renegades would die. Literally, they would die.
Well, not
Yeah,
only
the
that,
team
like,
is dead.
Like Renegades would die, yeah. But not only that, like, is that gonna make Optic that much better? Really? Like JKS is nuts. Don't get me wrong.
No, I will because they
That'll
will.
make them a lot
Nifty, yeah, Nifty and JKS are both the main reason Renegades is doing really well.
Really?
Not the main reason, but that I would say they're pretty hard carries for that team. Like they're two
I
star
think
players on the
JKS
team.
is for sure. I don't think Nifty's a hard carry or a star player.
But Nifty's
Nifty's
their
pretty.
offer.
Nifty's pretty good now, though.
Yeah.
He's pretty
Nifty
good.
didn't really
Yeah,
get a lot of
I'm
credit
not saying he's bad.
because it's selfless, but he's like improved a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying Nifty's bad
I think
at all.
I think Nifty is their second best player. Yeah.
Hmm.
Outside of
So
JKS.
AZR has been like really up and down from what I've seen. Because AZR used to be like their second best player, but
Yeah.
Nifty.
No,
came in
I don't
and
think
played
Renegades is
really
gonna do
well.
that. I mean, yeah, I don't see that happening. Although, yeah, like Optic's best chance is to pick up somebody from from Liquid or C9. That's Optic's best
pretty
chance.
good on the
To
fracking
pick up
today.
somebody from Liquid or C9 that wants to leave and pick up like a fifth.
It's just hard because with all the contracts and stuff, like, just the orgs want to buy people out. Because, like, if you want to really, like, upgrade your roster, if you're C9 or anyone, like, you're going to have to buy people, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Well, Optic only has to make one change, right? So, like, realistically, it's for Mixwell or whatever. Then you have to get like, because Mixwell don't want to op anyway. So one of those players are going to have to op. So they either pick up an opper or someone else has to op on that team.
but I feel like they need an opper and a caller. Like, I know Tarek is calling, but I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
I think their plan, from what I've heard, is to have Tarek like try to call with like
Yeah.
I'm a pet helping him.
Yeah,
their
that's
plan.
literally their plan. And then,
But if they get Nifty, then they could just have Nifty call.
I don't think Renegades will let Nifty go, dude. No one. I don't think so. He just signed his contract. I'm pretty sure he like literally just joined Renegades too. So he's probably worth way more than he would be normally. And they're doing well. Renegades is like doing pretty well. So I don't see that happening. And so like either Optic picks up an opper, or they pick up somebody from Cloud9 or Liquid.
It's
Yeah, I
tough to
mean, just
say.
looking right now, like just looking at Renegades, just looking at the stats of their players. I mean, JKS is obviously their best player, and him joining any team would make that team better, right? Like 100, like him joining any team, that team gets better. Like think literally any North American team right now, if you sub out their worst player and put in JKS, you're gonna get better, right? He's just insanely good. But Nifty, I don't know if it's because he's been IGLing or what it is, but online for Renegades, Nifty's performed really well. Like 1.23, 1.3. He did well at the Asia Minor, 14 maps plus 52. And then he did pretty well at DreamHack Atlanta, but at the major qualifier and at IEM Sydney, like he played really, really poorly. Like really poorly.
I
especially
think just
for
because
an
like
amateur.
their play style with him calling's pretty like scrimmy, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like it's not as defined. Like he is. I don't think he's been calling that
Right.
long.
So
but
that's what I mean. So I think if he joins Optic, like I know, so Tarek's gonna be IGLing, right?
Tarek's
So-
calling no matter what.
Right. So,
Dude, I feel like-
maybe that'll help. Like maybe if they do end up going over to Optic, maybe that'll help him to perform better, so he doesn't have to worry about IGLing at the same time and opping, because that's not easy.
I remember when Optic did well. I know they had Stanislaw, but I felt like they thrive when they just play scrimmy. You know what I mean? Like Optic has always done really well when they're like doing like 4 walk hauls on Cobble, just bust out. Like, like not that they don't ever throw smokes or mollies, but everything they've done when they were good has always been simple. It's never been like complex executes and like there's like fast mid control and Mirage and they just fucking swarm connector and they come out ramp at this. Like it's always been fast shit that's done well for them. And with I'm a Pet and Terra calling, if they just try to change the whole team, then I don't know how that's going to work out. Like,
what's funny is
kinda,
like we talk so much about Optic and like how like they literally don't even, like Dap said, they didn't even have like a team. You know, like they didn't even know what they wanted this whole year. Somehow, I know I'm harping on Liquid, but Liquid has less results than Optic.
Yeah. Like Optic's gotten out of groups twice or 3
Yeah,
times.
and they've got third place at the
Summit.
And
they beat
third place.
Cloud9 and Liquid at
Yeah.
that, I think, with
Yeah,
Jason R.
That's kind of crazy when when you look at like how Liquid
It shows like, how good the players on the team are, though.
Right. No, I agree, but also like it's just I'm more talking like how underwhelming Liquid has been for how like what their expectations.
what do you
should
guys
be.
think about if players try to like just leave? Like, what if they think, okay, well, we don't have an Opera, we don't have a caller, we don't trust Terra calling or whatever. Like, maybe I'm not saying that, but let's just say that's what they think, right? What if like Rush tries to join C9 and then like NAF joins fucking Liquid? I'm not even saying those are likely, but like, do you think it's possible that they just split up and just try to join, like upgrade their team?
No way, because they're under contract.
Optic,
No, I'm not
just
saying that.
that.
But I mean, like, what if C9 wants fucking NAF? Like,
They won't
what
get
if they're
him.
like, what if they're like Shroud, Sia, we want NAF
I
because
really
he's
don't think they would get
skilled.
him.
No,
I think C9 would pay. Well, it's weird. I don't know. I don't see like any of them joining Liquid. I can
These
see them,
buyouts these
I can
days
see
for
them wanting to join C9.
Like I would, it sounds realistic, but when you look at these buyouts, like if you knew some of these buyouts, they're disgusting. Like
Yeah.
no one's paying these prices.
Yeah.
So well, I'm just looking at results from Liquid and Optic here. I'm just going since CS Summit, or we can go since the E League Major.
Liquid, I
since
think they made
both
it out of
played
groups.
that.
What did they make it out of groups at?
Well, so I can
Cologne?
go back to ECS Season 2 finals. So, but Liquid didn't even qualify for that. So, so since Pro League Season 4 finals, Liquid got 7th to 8th, 5th to 6th at Northern Arena Montreal, 7th to 8th at IM Oakland, 9th to 11th at the E League Major, 5th to 6th at CS Summit, 3rd, 4th at iBuyPower Invitational, 5th to 8th at Subaru International, 3rd, 4th. They got 3rd at, oh, that's the online, 5th to 6th at ECS, 9th to 11th at the major qualifier, 5th to 8th at ESL 1 Cologne. And like that's all their results since,
Acquiring Stan.
since acquiring Stan. And then for Optic, they got 11th to 12th at IM Katowice, 2017. 12th to 14th at the E League Major, so they didn't do well. 2nd at iBuyPower Invitational, 3rd at CS Summit, 3rd to 4th at IEM Sydney, 5th to 8th.
No, the
Subaru
results are definitely better for
Invitational,
Optic.
4th, oh no, that's it. That's online. 7th to 8th ECS, 1st in the Cyber Power Extreme, whatever. Like honestly, Optic's results, they're both shit. Like based on their personal standards, right? Like neither team has done well this year.
Yeah, but the difference is Optic didn't even have a lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
Liquid
was-
as a
No, exactly,
Liquid as a
exactly.
They played
coach
with
and like
And
Jason
Liquid,
R.
Liquid
and
has
then
one of
Hazed.
the best coaches, I think, in the world too. Zeus is
Yo,
an incredible coach.
And let's talk about fucking Jason R's decision to dip on them before the major qualifier. Like, why? Why wouldn't he just like play one more month?
I'm
Like,
sure there was more that went into it than that.
Well, I think the main
True,
reason
but-
was because it would have been like 3 events in a row, right? So he would have missed like a month of streaming.
oh,
Yeah.
I guess so. But I feel like you make the major, then you make more money from stickers
He
than
obviously wasn't
stream.
confident in
But
making the major, right?
I guess
I
so.
think that's what that says.
I think it was
is that-
partially he was getting a lot of shit too from like the fans and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like when
I
you're
mean,
on
he played
Optic,
really
you're-
like he played poorly, but like, what do you expect, right? Like, it's not like
Yeah,
he was an
I
all-star
feel
before he
like-
joined up with them.
I feel like neither Hazed or Jason R played like better or worse than each other. I just feel like he played better with Jason R though. Like
The team did
in
for
terms
sure.
of like just in like the way they were
Well,
playing.
the thing is, Jason's a great teammate. Like, he's never
Yeah,
been
he's
a
a
star
happy dude.
player. He's never been a star player. He's never put up good numbers. But he does make the team better just by being there. Like, and that's a really unique quality. Like, where he is just a positive guy all the time. He does not tilt. Like, he just doesn't. He doesn't tilt. He's always positive. Like, he's just a great teammate to have. So
Yeah.
like that will make the team play better, especially on a team like Optic where you have, personalities and, different,
Oh, Yam is looking for a team.
I saw
HLTV
that.
just posted an article. So maybe they would pick up Yam.
Yeah, maybe.
Optic
As an
And he's-
IGL.
Been into the game too long.
as an game leader and an Opper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember Was Yam good? I forget. I honestly don't
He
remember.
wasn't bad.
It was good when he didn't call.
Yeah.
Like, once he started calling, he just started declining. I think it's fairly normal, though, honestly. Like,
That's like seized on NaVi. It's
yeah,
like pretty much every color.
if you didn't start out always calling and playing your normal role, then I think it's weird to like add it in. Like, maybe it doesn't make your team worse, but like it'll make you worse. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, yeah, full on ops and calls, but dude, he's got Fur, Coldzera, and like Phelps
SK is
and
a fucking
Taco.
anomaly,
Like,
and everyone
they're
knows
like.
that.
It's just like you have all these self-sufficient players that are making tons of
Yeah.
comms, making the right decisions without being told. He's got no inexperienced player on his team that he needs to coddle. You know what I mean? He can call the strat, he can play his own game, and people will make the right decisions around him. But when you are playing with other people that need direction and micromanaging, and you're opping or you're being like an entry rifler, it becomes harder on you because you're like, okay, guys, come on, like you come back from B, we're about to hit A. Like, get ready to throw your smoke. You die. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much that you shouldn't even be saying. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, SK is definitely an anomaly, and anybody who knows the game knows that. Like, they're a hard, like, you can't replicate. Like, SK is a really hard team to replicate. Like, that's why when you watch, like, no team, there's a few times where you watch an SK demo and you think, oh, that was a cool strat, we'll use that. But most of the time when you're looking for strats, you don't think of going to watch SK. Like, that's not the team you think of.
yeah, the thing is that you could replicate what Coldzera does. Like, maybe not the shots he hits, but like the way he plays is consistent.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's all calculated, but it's very hard to replicate Fullen and Fur. Like, what Fur does on CT and T side, I don't know if this shit is like demo watching and they're anti-stratting the people they're playing, but he'll just randomly push things at certain times. He'll walk through, like, I've seen the dude, he'll just walk up connector on Mirage into window. Just fuck it. Like, I mean, like, how do you tell your teammate to do that? Like, how do you tell your connector, yo, sometimes if you're feeling it, just walk into window. Like, you can't, like, there's no way to do that. Like, unless you're designing a strat to pull the window guy away. Like, maybe that's a smart thing to do, you know, if you like fake B and then you have him walk in. All right, that makes sense. But I'm just saying, out of nowhere, like, I don't know, you can't, like, that's just on him. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, SK is very unique in that sense.
So I think that was pretty much it. The other roster changes are like Hellraiser's is dead. If that happens, and then
whoa. Their
Penta
CEO said
as
no
well.
changes are happening on Reddit. He said no changes. Team is alive.
Is that
No.
Angel's team?
yeah,
Oh no, sorry, that was the flip side that said that. Never mind.
Flipside screwed as well. Well, I mean, even Flipside with electronic, like they're not doing that much.
I always find it funny because all these like orgs will be like, yeah, we're not making changes, and then like a week later, it's just like electronic joins Navi. It's like, why even say anything? Like, what's
Try
the
and make
point?
to reduce the price, I guess.
Maybe, yeah, I don't
Some
know.
of these buyouts are nuts. Like Vanessa was saying earlier, they're just ridiculous.
Just FaZe just fuck it. Like they're like whatever. Like because Guardian could be
FaZe
cheap.
spends a lot. Didn't FaZe spend 500K to buy that team
This
initially?
is the fucking Real Madrid or PSG of this world.
All right, tell me this. Okay, how does it? Okay, so you have Alu on your team, right? Now, excluding if he wanted to leave. All right, so if he wanted to leave, that's a different story. But like, let's say, okay, so you got second, first, second, third, fourth, and then you went out in groups. Okay, your major performance, yeah, it sucked, whatever. So you're pretty consistent though. You're like the most consistent team in the world besides SK. Now, at this point,
Astralis, but yeah.
now they're in the recent months, so they were more consistent.
I think
than
they've always. I
Astralis.
think Astralis has made semifinals of the last like 8 events they played at or something.
So it's just skipped, I think, right? They skipped.
Yeah, they just skipped events, so they just didn't go to as many. But either way, like they're at least top 3 minimum. So what's the point of replacing Alu and then paying all this money to get Guardian? Like, how does that benefit you? Like, especially when like.
Well, they asked me
like-
on stream. People were like, "Oh yeah, who do you think? Do you think they're going to be better with Guardian?" I'm like, "Slightly,
Well,
I guess."
over like the last like whatever year and a half, Lurpus did like a breakdown on his Twitter. I don't know if you guys followed Tommy or not, but he did a breakdown on his Twitter where like over the last like year and a half, Guardian has like a 1.06 rating on Navi, and Alu has like a 1.05 rating, and like they're like their KD is like the same, but like Alu has like 0.68 kills per round, whereas Guardian has like 0.69, but then Guardian has like 0.01 more deaths per round. Like it's literally like identical stats, like completely identical, like for the most part. And yeah, Tommy was saying how like it seems like just silly that FaZe has made this move after one bad placing, and they're replacing an Awper for an Awper of currently equal caliber.
The only thing you could argue is if Guardian really is playing bad because he's not motivated on Navi and he puts in more time and he becomes back to his old level, then they automatically win. Like they are now
Guardian's peak is higher than Alu's peak for sure.
Guardian's peak puts him as more consistent than Kenny S in terms of just like stationary offing, never missing easy shots. Like Kenny S will always have sicker rounds than Guardian. Like there's no doubt in my mind that like Kenny S's flashy shit will always be better, but Guardian, when he's playing really well, is more consistent in my opinion. Like he's more safe, you know, but he hits like a lot of shots. Puts your team at very low risk, you know, like you don't have a lot of risk playing with Guardian like overpass. He's not jumping up and like battling at the balloons for a year, you know. That's just not his play style.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I could see like, you know, if the rise of Guardian happens, which I believe it could, they would benefit a lot. But I didn't even think Alu was bad. Like I thought people talk shit about Alu, but like he's a passive Awper. Like passive.
Most people would have thought Kiyoshima would have gotten replaced.
I mean, Kyo and Kerrigan were fucking bots at the major. Like they were. Like the two of them each had like the worst major stats of anyone ever. Like they were awful at the major. But you know, I don't even think they needed to make any changes though. To be honest, I think they kind of jumped the gun on this one. But they're taking a.
Imagine how nice it would be being Kerrigan and just having a lineup like that.
Yeah. Just able to buy anyone in the world at any moment.
Yeah, just like just
no, but like just that. Yeah, just like having a lineup of even before that Alu, like he just has 4 players that he could just do anything with. They could just win.
It's like, oh shit, we all have 1500. All right, Nico get a dig.
Yeah, like you can win any round. You have like the best pieces possible to win. You know, there's no excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. No, their team was insanely. They were really good. But you know, they're sort of taking.
There had to have been something underlying with Alu.
There was.
That's what I mean. If he wanted to leave, then that's like completely different. You know, like it's just if he's not happy. I don't agree with keeping an unhappy person on your team. Like you guys all know what it's like when a dude doesn't want to be on your team. You know, like it's not fun to like play. Whether he hates you guys or not, it might not even be that. Maybe he just doesn't enjoy it anymore or something. But
yeah, it's true. Is that the last of the
roster
changes?
That's pretty much it for like speculated roster changes.
All right, well then this is mostly just for me and Finesse then, because I know you guys don't really follow soccer. But Finesse, how about that fucking Neymar deal, dude? How ridiculous
that's not worth,
that?
Bro.
You don't think that's worth it for PSG?
No human is worth that much money,
dude. He might be.
I mean, he's young. He's got that going for him. He's young and talented, but I mean, Pogba was sold for 100 million. He's done shit. So
right.
I don't really.
Different type of player though. Different position, different type of player. Everything.
Yeah. My point is, you only spend that type of money on consistency in terms of like winning championships. I think Ronaldo and Messi have shown that type of consistency, but I guess they're older. And they're praying Neymar becomes a Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi.
I think just for the marketing, I think he's worth it just in from the marketing standpoint. Think about how many Neymar.
They didn't buy him for that though. They buy him to win.
They bought him for a combination of the two things for sure.
They definitely want him because they want a Messi eventually or a Ronaldo, and I don't think that. I just don't think I don't think anyone in our generation will be able to reach that level of consistency.
Yeah, well, not playing in the French league anyway.
Yeah, but you never know. I just don't. I still don't think that's too much money, dude.
I mean, it's definitely too much money. Like, literally, a country bought him. Like,
didn't they only spend, or isn't he only on the contract for 5 years?
Yeah, 5-year contract. Yeah.
They spent that much money just for a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. After 5 years, he's gonna be old.
Well, here's what happened, Daps. I don't know if you know, like the whole breakdown for what happened, but Paris Saint-Germain, the club. is owned by a Qatar investment group, which is like run by the government of Qatar, right? And because of FIFA fair play regulations, you can only spend money that you've made. Like you can't like, you can't just like spend ridiculous amounts of money just because you have it, because it'd be ridiculous. So what happened is this Qatar investment group gave the buyout to Neymar himself, like a donation to Neymar, and then Neymar went to Barcelona and paid his own buyout clause. So the Paris Saint-Germain didn't actually pay for Neymar. It was a Qatari investment group that paid Neymar to pay for his own buyouts that he could sign to Paris Saint-Germain. It's like this whole shady fucking thing that went down that FIFA's probably going to end up.
Isn't FIFA like super shady already though?
Yeah,
Is it like the most shady
FIFA's shady
organization in all of sports?
Yeah, FIFA's pretty shady, but it was like this whole thing that went on that it's honestly really bad for the sport. Like it's not a good thing. Like it's bad that this happened.
Well, my one friend who watches soccer, he told me the other day that like he loves soccer, but it's just like it's kind of like the NBA, like who's gonna win, like most of the time, right?
Like sometimes.
It's like when you get to the top, like Real Madrid or like Barcelona, like they're pretty much guaranteed to win most of the time.
Well, PSG just wants to be included in those talks.
Like Bayern is included in those talks. Historically, Manchester United was included in those talks, not recently.
I don't think ever. Honestly, not gonna happen.
I don't think ever Manchester United was included in those talks, even when.
No.
I'm saying. Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying no. After I don't think after now it's not gonna happen. In the future, there's not gonna be a Man United. It's the same thing as Arsenal. I'm just praying that happens, but it's never going to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. There's right now there's 4 teams that are kind of the best. It's like there's Bayern, there's Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Those are like the 4.
And PSG is there too. I think
PSG probably will be now.
Yeah.
The only time I watched soccer
and
was
Atletico Madrid. Don't forget.
Yeah,
what about Chelsea?
Chelsea? No,
no one in the Premier League is good.
The thing about the Premier League is that their schedule's the hardest in the continent. Like the Premier League is the hardest schedule. They have the most domestic cups. They don't take the winter break, which all the other leagues do. So they play through the entire winter, which other teams have like a 3-week break in the winter to give all the players a rest. So the Premier League has the highest injury rates of any of the leagues. So the Premier League teams, they're not really up there in contention right now.
When does Pro League start?
19th.
August the 22nd. Actually, my first match is against Splice
on the 19th.
Oh, the matches are scheduled already?
I can send you guys the schedule right now.
Look it up.
Yours starts on the 19th then, doesn't it? Oh, no, never mind.
No, 20. We play Splice on the 22nd.
Who do I play? Just tell me who I play.
Easiest one in my life.
You guys play Misfits first on the 23rd.
What are you gonna do if there's that French duo, Amonic, just running at you, force sensitivity, twirling around, just.
That guy's nuts, man.
I know he does weird ass shit. It makes no sense, but
I linked the schedule. I don't think it's 100% set. But that's like most likely dates. Oh no! Your first match is against Cloud9 on the 22nd.
Oh shit!
You play Cloud9 and then Misfits and then Liquid. You got a hard fucking start to the season there.
So easy 3 wins if ever.
Easy 0-6 potentially.
yeah.
Just playoffs out the window in the first 3 days.
That'd be fucked.
Oh, remember your ECS season?
No, I don't want to remember.
You guys are just up 7-1. Just like CLG's in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
You guys didn't lose a match. And then just lose out.
I just wish some of these fucking matches were on land, dude. These kids fucking wouldn't lose to Kaboose. That was
Kaboose is nuts.
Relax.
He is. I'm serious. He's nuts. He's got some of the nuttiest.
He's good.
Listen, but you won Fragadelphia one time, and now you think he's nuts.
Dude,
like it's
Fragadelphia,
bro.
I'm just telling
you shouldn't don't value him over his aim. Is he a good teammate?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He communicates.
Good comms.
Nice
He
guy.
does have.
Really, because I
does have good comms. I'm not even kidding.
ESCA pug with him, and his comms weren't so hot.
Okay. Yeah, no, he does.
If I based my CS career off playing with nice guys, I wouldn't gone very far.
Listen, I'm not saying he's only a nice guy and he's shit. No, I'm not a nice guy.
Usain Bolt just lost. What?
He doesn't lose.
Right.
He's too old now.
All right, I think the podcast is over.
Okay.
Do
That's just calling it.
No, sure.
Do we need to No kind of ad read, right? Not yet.
I mean, we're not even gonna have this in it. Like, you cut this out.
Oh,
Like,
maybe I'll
like
leave
we
it in.
already, like we fucked up the second we started talking about soccer. You can like leave some of that in.
No, we're leaving that in. People like that. All the European viewers will like that.
Wait, how many views did the last one?
Such a
I think it's like
fucking pussy
3,500.
sport, dude. It's all about powerlifting and strongmen.
I'm leaving all of
Fucking-
this in.
How many views did the last one get?
Like 3,500 on.
I got
on
strongmen fucking
Yo,
carrying
the
1,400
peakers-
pounds. All right, like,
That's
real
not
men.
enough views, dude.
That's
Yo,
that's
the
actually
Twitter doesn't
pretty
even
good for
follow
the first episode.
maybe.
Well, you could go log into it and follow yourself. You have all the passwords.
That's too much effort.
Yeah, exactly.
Too much effort for one follow.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll probably cut that last part out anyways. But that is episode 2 of Peaker's Advantage. I guess that's it. See you guys next time.